Hey guys, it's Shane here with Sentinel Secure Transport. Just want to talk a little bit about, leases and why you want to get into them. Doing a lease can be a really good opportunity depending on what purpose you're going into it. If you're going into it strictly just, jump into a truck and, I've got my own truck, but not treat it like a business, you're going into that for totally the wrong reason. You got to go into a lease as a business decision. Why is that? Because you can write off on your taxes every payment, 100%. If you go out and buy a truck, it's depreciation. Also, by doing a lease, most of your equipment's going to have some kind of warranties on them and different things, especially if you're leasing new equipment. Now, a lot of drivers get into these leases. Once the going gets rough during the winter, you'll see a lot of guys jumping and just running away. The money's not totally right. They're out the door, jumping to the next company to go after bonuses, sign-on bonuses and different things. If your money drastically drops for any reason, you've got to treat it like a business. You immediately start communicating with whatever company you're with. It could be a bad fleet manager. It could be, in-house politics going on. There's a lot of different things that can affect your money. Pay rates. Also, making sure you're with a safe company. A lot of guys don't realize your freight is based off your CSA sometimes. Now, every company you're going to be leased to is going to get their money, whether it's an extra 2%, 1%, whatever it may be. It's going to be utilized. I'm fortunate enough to be with leasing with a pretty good, I shouldn't even say pretty good, I'll say extremely good company. That's ATS. Their truck leases are reasonable. Their prices are fairly reasonable. And the value of the truck is there. I mean, it's basically worth what they state it is in your lease. Now, I've been in leases with other companies where an older truck will cost just as much as a new one. So you got to turn around and make sure you're looking at what you're looking at. If you're coming over into a lease to turn around and think you're going to be making $3,000 a week, $4,000 a week, that kind of thing, it's, you can make good money. Once you get below $1,200 to $1,400 a week, and you got a $660 a week truck payment plus insurance, about $1,200 in fixed expenses, you either got to be watching your fuel, or you got to turn around and be figuring out what's going on with your rates are going down. I can tell you right now, over here, went through a little bit of a dry spell during the winter. A lot of that had to do with icy conditions, but, overall, it's all getting fixed. But you have to turn around and make everything what you want it to be if you're going to do a lease. Lease gives you a little bit more leeway as far as when you want to go home. It gives you a little bit more leeway if you want to do a 34-hour reset every week. So there's a few things that are good about doing leases compared to just being a company driver. Now, being in a lease, you're going to hear there's a company driver out there making $1,800 a week. You're right, they are. But they're a company driver. They work when they're told to work. They are having to put in the miles whether they want to put in the miles. They have to literally run. There's companies out there where their company drivers have to run off fallback every single week, day in, day out, until they go home. And they do make damn good money. Leases are what they are. They're basically for you to get a stepping stone and to see what it's going to be like to be a true independent contractor. And when I say independent contractor, a lease driver is an independent contractor. But what I'm talking about is the driver that has his own truck, his own authority, you got to understand there's a lot of overhead with having your own authority that you got to keep up with the government. IFTA is one of them. By doing a lease, yeah, I'm losing some money by doing a lease, but what I'm also getting for losing some of that percentage is I'm getting the dispatch. I'm getting road service. I'm getting assistance if I need it. I've got somebody a phone call away to help resolve an issue if I need it. IFTA's being taken care of automatically for me. States are getting paid what they want from their money. I have access to tolls. So there's a lot of benefits to sometimes giving up part of your percentage to be leased over to a company. But what works for me may not work for you. I can sit here and tell you that there are very few weeks that I see anything less than about 14 take home. This past year, I grossed over $180,000. Now, with that said, the $180,000 sounds damn good. But you got to remember, you have all your variables and all your fixed that comes out of that. So average about a year, you're going to take home probably somewhere in the ballpark of about 70 to 80 grand net. So, and it can vary. It totally can vary. It totally depends on the truck you have, the fuel economy. There's too many variables to sit there and say what I make, you'll make, that kind of thing. And anybody who tells you it's set in stone, you will make this amount of money, is blowing smoke up. Because in trucking, there's too many variables for any one person to have the answers. I don't care what company you go to, you're going to have your good, your bad, and your ugly. Doesn't matter how good the company is. Not everybody is cut out to be with that said company. The company ATS that I'm with, I'm telling you right now, love the company to death. But I've got friends that haven't been, they don't like it. They've already jumped ship, so to speak, that's been in leases. But at the end of the day, you have to make the decision on what kind of lease you want, what kind of company you want to have having your back, and how often you want to go home. You can't pay a $660 truck payment every week if you don't stay out, and at least stay out and run 500 miles a day for at least 5 days a week. So being on point with what you're doing is going to be extremely key. You have to stay organized. You have to keep up with what you're doing. And as soon as you feel, your mental fatigue or, you've just been out too long. You got to do laundry, you got to do whatever. Do a 34. 34s aren't bad if you do them at the right time of your pay week. If you take like for instance with us, we get paid, I'm on rapid pay, so I get paid every 48 hours roughly. But I try to take my off time on like Saturdays and Sundays. That way it doesn't affect the pay cycle too badly. But if I was to take say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off, it's going to drastically affect my pay, because anything turned in after Thursday, you're not getting paid till the following week. So you got to know how your pay cycle works to turn around and level your money out. The other thing is, with a lot of these leases, you have escrows and you have your money, your maintenance, and all that kind of stuff. Some have voluntary reserve funds. Those reserve funds, what I suggest to people is every now and again, take that money out of reserve. Because that way, if something comes up, you've already got that money out for whatever reason. There's a lot of variables. Again, when you get ready to leave a company, you got to remember you're an independent contractor if you're doing a lease. If you want to return a truck, it's wherever you're returning it to, and you're responsible for getting home. These companies a lot of times don't get you back home. So that's something to also consider when you're letting money sit around in escrows. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for a decent company, if you got any questions, hit me up. One company that I can refer people to lease is ATS. ATS has kept me comfortable. Like I said, it may work for you, it may not work for you. Do your own research even after watching this video. And like anything, you're going to see bad reviews, you're going to see good reviews. But what I tell you to do is not go based off of what the internet shows you. Stop and talk to a driver. Ask them. If you ever come across me, I'm not scared to break out my app and actually show you my income. A driver that will not actually tell you his income may just be after the sign-on bonus for getting you to come in. But if you run across me, I'll show you what my income is. I'll show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm not ashamed of what I make. I make good money over here. So if you're thinking about doing a lease, look into ATS. Like I said though, do your own research. What works for me may not work for you. Can't stress that enough. But if you do what you do, you work hard, you run, you don't turn down stuff, you'll make money. Equipment's kept up, nice equipment. But as you know, we all got things to do. I appreciate you guys watching this video. You know the deal, you know the routine. Hit me up anytime you feel. Got a question, throw it at me, and I'll help you come up with some solutions. But again, I thank you for watching my channel, and hopefully more will be coming. It's been a while since I made one. So, thanks again, guys. Sentinel Security Transport, signing off.